You can catch them though. That's good.
The bottles break if they go under a certain Y value, basically.
There you go.
Oh.
Which doesn't really work with the pond level.
That's pretty.
There you go. They just shudder if they hit the ground.
Patrick, I don't want to scare you, but I just crashed.
What's your
you did?
Whoops.
Yeah, let's go pick a bottle up and
So you can performance like.
Oh no! All right,
Patrick, I crashed on
Just
the way
fine.
in when I was choosing my
I'm
color.
just making sure. This is like most people
I
have ever
crashed
happened.
it.
I did 3 times.
I crashed choosing my color also.
yeah, the choosing color thing was a problem the other day too.
That was a test to see how much you really wanted to come
Are you on
in.
quest 1 or quest 2?
I'm on a 1.
2. 1, 2.
I'm on a 2.
Yeah, I'm
For
on a
the
1.
people that crash, though, I'm asking. For the people that crash, what are you on?
I crashed
One's a
on
two.
the color select on a quest 2.
Okay.
3 times.
Same.
Yeah, I did it on a 1. I think what we've got is a player pref bugbear, because we save that so that the next time you come in, it will auto show your color and your name and your choices. But I think there's a player pref bugbear, and it's causing havoc and requiring persistence in joining. So we're just weeding people out. Really.
You know what's funny? This is the world's worst game of bowling. I'm into it. And suddenly I think I'm going to go pro.
So Mark, this is my favorite one. You can
see
keep
what you got there.
physics from going to sleep here.
You can do
Let's
what?
see where you at.
Right here. I'm the short green guy.
Oh, there you go. Sitting down. Okay, what happens?
You can keep the physics from going to sleep.
Just by being in proximity to it?
No, just by setting it just right, because it's a non-primitive.
Oh, yeah.
It'll just wobble until.
I remember when I was at Destineer, we built the game engine from scratch, and the physics things, like, it would do that where it would, like, settle into place, and then all of a sudden go, whoop, off to infinity, like Battlefield 1942 tanks. Pretty funny.
Zach is sitting down, obviously.
Watch this, though.
Awesome.
We're saving this for later.
you.
Settings.
So when you go into the Oculus menu, your hands are on the floor.
Yep,
Yeah.
yeah.
At the same
Oh,
time.
funny.
Oh, you're already here as someone else.
Obviously,
Here's the bullying we deserve in VR.
That's also a feature, so
Who's
we
the
know.
second
I got
account
them
that's in here
apples.
for you?
Now I'm tall sitting down.
There you go.
Hey,
This setting is
or-
not compatible with keyboard tracking because your keyboard ends up here.
hey, hey, Zach, we figured out that it might not work if you have a stationary boundary.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because John was trying to get in, and his
yeah,
he didn't have that option in his menu.
you purchase separately to use
Uh-huh.
on multiple devices
Yeah.
at the same time. Can
Well,
you
what
put
OS
this app
version though?
on
Because
any
I
other
went to
devices?
35 at our
updated.
last test, and now I'm 37.
Yeah, he said he just updated.
Okay.
Hey, I see you can do the Homer Simpson, the Homer Simpson meme over here.
So am I even going to be able to put 37 on my 1?
There's
What's that?
bird
Am I going to be able to
flying.
put 37 on my 1?
Yeah, I think so.
I see people over by the clubhouse.
Well, we
Although
are.
Gaff, you're
I can't
now
move.
just recently got banned from Horizon Worlds as of
I have
January
to like
16th.
dismiss.
Stinks.
all these-
Really? Oh, no.
Yeah.
No. Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'm pretty
It's not
sure I
letting
went in
me
there, and
go
I'm on a
anywhere.
Quest 1.
So I have a copy installed in my Quest 1. I'm going to see what happens, but
Okay.
that's the official word.
Ah.
They did a major update. The rooms can hold 32 people now instead of 4.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
Remind me
what Horizons
So is. That's
the.
It's the Rec Room ripoff
I think from who?
from Meta Facebook.
Meta,
Oh,
Facebook,
that's right, okay.
Oculus, whatever.
Yeah. Who's
Wait, that is in
doing the flash teleporting?
Yeah. Oh no.
Someone was just been teleporting around like in a.
So
That's
interesting
pretty
thing.
It's not cool down.
Was there an option, Patrick, for you to make it like cross buy in a sense, so that two
Hold
accounts
up.
could be on at the same, or
Hold on.
two headsets on the same account could be on at the same time?
There was not an option that I saw, but I have.
Okay.
You know what? I think.
Because we have one issue with that,
Oh.
where she couldn't.
Oh.
I mean, it's not necessarily us, but it's just
Yeah.
Oculus locking it the account. Where
Oh, interesting.
Have you tried one
Yeah.
of those dumb family accounts?
I don't know. I don't know where she went. She left.
Oh man, that sucks. Yeah, I don't know. Part
I
of
could
the
try it. Should I try it? I've got a Quest 1 over here with a family account on it. secondary account.
Sure.
Yeah,
See what
You're
happens.
gonna
Okay.
crash changing your color though. I'm just warning you.
yeah. You just
Actually, Patrick, I'll have to send you a new email, I think.
Oh.
you want the Gmail one in there?
I don't know. I'll have to figure out which Facebook account email this thing is running.
I got you're on Yahoo.
Yeah, that's the good.
You're on your Yahoo email.
That was passed through. That's the good headset.
Oh, I figured out how
Hands
to launch. I
down.
figured out how to really launch these things.
Okay, what do you got?
Let's see. So let's see. I gotta grab. Let's see. I gotta break that one. And then you gotta like really interfere with the physics. Oh, if you get it just right, it goes like light speed.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
How are
If
you
you get two
doing?
objects on top of each
Oh,
other
man.
and
Welcome
they're on
to
the ground
PuzzleFox
and you
Park.
force grab, it doesn't
Start
work with
lower.
that. We've got some other things we can use later.
So right now I'm
down.
balancing
Okay.
this bottle on the bottle.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
using
giving
the-
people things to
I'm
do
using
in
the
VR
physics engine.
Cool.
is really
Yeah.
fun for sure.
Yeah, even if
Oh,
it's
last one.
it's a little
How'd you
late
enable
right
your
now.
microphone?
Oh, okay. We already started
I don't know.
drinking.
It's enabled.
We started
Drinking
but,
Kool-Aid.
just,
Are you?
Yeah.
How are you? Doing great.
Look.
Let me
sorry,
check
we
settings,
were,
see if I can help you.
This has
having
gone
technical
flat.
difficulties
Oh.
before.
This has gone flat.
It seems like a few are. Yep.
My wife and I are both trying to be in here, but it wouldn't let
Was your
more
wife
than one of-
Lori?
Yep.
Okay, yep. I was sitting there talking to her, and then she said that something
They
like
must have
the
got it.
account was
Good.
locked.
Yep. She's like,
Matt,
"Sorry,
you always
enable
gotta show
recording.
off a little bit.
Enable
Hello.
what?
Oh
When you
man,
open
that's good.
the,
I put,
App for the
I
first
added
time,
it
did you
to
click
the-
enable recording?
Damn it.
Oh, I mean, I
The
don't
account was
know.
tied, I
What
guess.
happened?
Oh.
I don't know.
All right.
You said you got
I
kicked.
don't know. I was messing around with
You got
getting
kicked.
different
Well, I
accounts
mean,
set up,
I
and I don't
crashed
know
when I
why
tried
it
to pick
thinks
my
they're
color, and that
like
could be it.
All right.
connected at all.
One.
But
True. So,
yeah, somehow we can only have one of our headsets on it. I don't know why, but
Oh, okay.
anyway, how's it going?
Well, I think
That's a
I'm
good
spotting some optimization
Okay,
opportunities with the number of people we have in here.
Zach. Okay.
I mean, I think our
16 or something like that.
yeah.
I saw 19.
I saw
19
just a minute ago.
I just refreshed it. There were some duplicates.
Oh, okay.
What's
Well,
it?
that's pretty
what's it-
exciting.
Is this is built in Unity, obviously? Is that part of
Yeah.
the presentation tonight too?
You should put the actual number on the sign-in board rather than so we don't have to count. This counting sucks.
We have so many feature requests, Patrick. Just kidding.
We can't spare the CPU
That's right.
cycles.
Cash it.
Right. We need less
16.
features,
Yeah.
not more.
Yep, hurt the frame rate.
Then you need to have a dedicated staff person saying 32, 16.
I
And
think
anyone
Brandon
ever
has
looked at
been
the
doing
board,
that,
they just
so
like
that-
say the number.
Zach, Paul couldn't make it. He just moved to Austin. I was just meeting with him, and he was on his way to barbecue.
He moved back again.
He says hi. Yep.
He says, "Forget this weather. I'm out here."
Where
Well,
was
so
he?
some-
Was the most
in
recent
Minnesota.
Paul?
Minnesota here for about a month.
Oh, geez. He got all the negative 15s, negative 18s.
Yep. But all the family too. So
He's used to it.
Yep.
Did anybody here see Paul's very first presentation where it was him building ice sculptures in his yard with a hose in the winter? Anybody remember that?
Failure saved it.
No.
Oh,
And then in the summer it was amateur pyrotechnics.
wax and
Did he-
sawdust. Yes, that was pretty
Yep.
cool. He is literally
seem
an
to remember
international
that
man of
one.
mystery. It's so fun.
Yep.
I don't know if this is gonna work, but it's kind of wobbly.
Oh,
Oh.
settle down. Nice, you did it.
Check on our YouTube.
Oh,
Say what?
it was a minute. It was make 10 seconds of existence.
All right. David's here lurking somewhere. Like right over there. There he is.
Over there. Yep.
His hands are dead though.
Or something.
Let's see how long the delay is.
I'm going to the club. I'm in the clubhouse.
What did you? No, you can't go in yet.
You are the clubhouse.
You can try.
Oh, definitely.
There you are.
World.
I'm
It was
putting the
dark over
clubhouse
here.
out here.
Yep.
If you want to move the camera up, there's an Oculus setting that'll help you. So you can. I don't know. It on the stream, it looks like you're on the floor, but the stream's behind, so you might be higher now.
I'm in the pool.
There's if you go into, you can just hit the menu button on your left hand and accessibility settings. There's a little toggle to move you up
I'm
about a foot and a half.
drowning.
Hey, Patrick, the physics are freaking out over here.
Great play. It must be expensive.
I had a big network
This
spike, but I
bottle
thought it was
is
at
like
my
a
house.
This is just an awesome experiment, and we crash the whole thing.
Normcore, destroy Normcore.
Is it Normcore?
Yes.
I think it's stabilized.
Let's make the theme destroy Normcore.
I think it's drifting.
Oh,
see a floating bottle.
I can't see
There's one just floating in there. That's awesome.
Guys, I'm getting
got it.
flashbacks
I got
from when we went into rec room.
Yeah.
We were like stacking furniture.
You find it, dude?
Oh, let's
That's
try.
awesome.
Here we go. Oh.
It's gonna fall.
It's gonna restart.
It's gonna fall.
Go to sleep.
How did you get that one up there? That's awesome.
He's the one.
Morpheus?
Yep. Well, one of the ones.
All right, so let's get that one to stop moving.
We
Yeah,
can't
it's
have
just going to sleep.
with this many people before. This is bizarro.
Oh, you
Well
have to
done.
understand is that it is
Well
so
done.
cool. Oh, I just realized I should have changed my color to bright pink, so I thought my texture was missing.
All right, here goes.
Bright pink and black.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So now this has to stabilize. The physics have to like shut off.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I went close. That was me. My bad.
How could you be so irresponsible? See, it's just gonna sit there and twitch, and then eventually it'll go to sleep.
Has anyone played that old walkabout mini golf game? It's been around
Yes.
forever.
No.
You know
yeah.
what that reminds me of accidentally knocking the bottles over when you're playing a competitive match and you accidentally hit the ball by moving. It's like
Yes.
the saddest thing ever.
Oh,
Oh, I know.
yeah.
Like, oh no,
yeah.
I walked and I
All
ruined my
right.
turn.
Yep.
Here goes.
Oh, wow.
Can you juggle these? Oh.
Patrick, I see you've got sky wisps too. I like that.
Yeah, we got a little bit of we got some
sky
birds.
wisps, yes. We can see the wind.
Look at the
We can
crown
be the wind.
molding. That's a lot of crown molding going on. over there.
Wow. That's been there for a long time.
Very fancy.
40% of your CPU is going to crown molding. You're welcome. I hope your face is melting.
Melting.
Just don't look at it.
You know, it's impossible to do that in the real world now, right? With the cost of wood. So well done.
Yeah.
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 You gotta use the
Can you
same
look at underneath?
like propylene, whatever
don't
is
use-
plastic wood.
Polypropylene.
I don't even know.
Yeah, you got to print your own
Gets
molding.
into your video, it starts going off dating. It's like, I don't know. That's not my
What's
problem. I don't even know. Like, you just can't get in.
Kiko.
Oh,
You taking notes?
it's twitching.
Well, then I can go
Do you want to check it out?
You seen
For
this?
some reason,
I'm
it
seeing
said my
that, yeah.
Wi-Fi
Yeah.
was
So
right, and
if you hit
then I
X,
was
you can
feeling
teleport
the
around.
The other
space,
one
but
is,
all of you
grab
had gone
bottles
away.
and break them and stack them with you're probably by the bar right now.
My
so you
other
can
favorite
grab
one is
bottles.
one will just
And
drift
then
across
when
the
I tried
world
to
at
get in
about this
again,
speed.
When it
I'll give
remembered
the
my
heads up.
I think the
name,
bottles
it crashed
have
at the
been drinking.
color choice.
Yeah.
Tried again, it didn't remember my name, but it went through in.
Okay.
Yeah, that seems to
Patrick
be.
thought
How long
he
is
could
the
get away with
event
the
for?
color
Thank
selection
you.
crash
What's
bug.
that?
He thought he could let that
Do you know how
slide.
long the event is?
Hey,
You
if
go
these are
till
your only problems,
8:30,
you're,
but I think
that's
we're gonna
nothing.
start
Like
Well,
in
I
a couple
think-
minutes here,
I mean,
probably
we've had 9
What was
people
that?
in here before.
There's
But
some
The
music
official
over here.
starts
got
at
some-
7,
I mean,
Yeah.
I think we
and
got some
then it'll wrap
optimization
up
to
about
do,
8,
frame rate
8:15.
Optimization.
Okay.
It'll be interesting to look at our
We run
analytics
through, like,
after this
a
and see what
slideshow
Oculus says our
thing,
frame rate is tonight.
Did you look at the
do some cool stuff.
data
Probably do
on
your like
Encore before this?
clubhouse and then gallery,
No.
and then yeah.
Nope.
All right.
But I'm-
Sounds good.
But considering that we've spent maybe 3
Very
hours,
little.
You can go in
Yeah.
it?
and I mean an hour that was me by myself today, so
Yeah.
I
We'll,
think
we'll get it pretty accurate. We can just dumb it down by like 90 to 85%. Yeah.
totally, yeah.
Ghostly car.
Dumb
I
it
think it's over
down.
here.
All right, I demand more
Like pulling the
satisfying
Ooh.
model
this
Oh.
physics
Oh yeah.
in next
and see
iteration.
what we use.
So yeah, who is
There's
the
nice
guy
little music in
prioritizing
here.
bugs that thought the color selector could slide?
Oh,
Who was
hey,
that
I'm
guy?
out of here. I was gonna say, hey, look at that.
I had an issue
2 days ago.
Look at this fire.
Listen, I said it's an endurance. It's a game. It's gamification.
Yep.
I'm trying to
It's
pet the fish.
devotion. Devotion test. I gotta find a clock. We got one over here, right?
Yeah, but
Where's the
what about
clock?
Clubhouse.
Oh, there it is. Yep.
Huge
But you can
sponsorship
teleport around the
opportunities for
bottom
beer
of
bottles
the
too.
tank.
That's a good point. Is Joe Sensor
Hello,
doing
down
this
there.
thing?
How do I get back out?
This is Joe.
Interesting what you got in.
can actually, it'll let you go up.
Well, we're gonna trade
Yeah, you can
sponsorship
teleport
for
up on the edge
blue
of the
cheese
rock.
dip, buffalo dip.
I love these
unlike-
fish.
Like, unlike Alt Space VR, you can't like go on the roof here.
Yeah, we're very,
Oh.
very
I
careful
should be
with
able
where
to
you
climb
can
the
go.
trees, I think.
Oh,
All right,
Get
can
up
it
there.
stabilize? Can it sit? No.
There's a few places you can break the boundaries, but we try to contain it.
I can see the people down there.
Does-
Huh?
What does recentering do?
this
Yep.
guy right here, self
All right, it should work.
Oh, there
like
it goes.
normal.
Physics, man.
Do we should have a network spike?
Over here.
No.
I got like half the people
Something
broke up and
happened.
half the people are clear.
I haven't heard
Mhm.
anyone breaking up. It sounds good to me. So far.
Yeah, so far,
Hey,
so far I'm okay on that.
Everybody sounds good to me.
Break, break.
Shut up.
Uh,
Knock it off. Good color choice though.
Wait a minute, doesn't Zach always have this problem?
Yeah. Yep. I do.
Birds are back.
you said somebody playing Fortnite.
I
on
went
your house
downstairs and I
back,
said, "All right, guys, no big downloads for 2
Yeah.
hours."
Yep.
Yeah.
That's where you entered from.
Yeah.
and then Windows said, "I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whoever that was,
There-
yes.
Okay.
Which Paul? Paul C.
Yeah.
Tell Paul. Not yeah. Paul C.
Right.
You are.
Right.
What was the
I
other
was
answer
gonna
going
say
to be?
not other Paul, but that's not really meaningful for most people.
I am the tree.
Right.
Oh, very good.
If you're on the very edge of the courtyard, you hear crickets and bugs.
Yeah, it
Oh,
sounds,
both. Okay.
it sounds
Relaxing.
great.
I am the button.
There goes Zach. I
Okay.
added a clock to the.
I like the tunes
Screen
in
up
that
there.
fish tank.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. Oh, you don't see it?
No.
Right there.
What?
There's a clubhouse
Exactly
clock,
one right there.
Oh, you don't get a clock.
And
on the
there's
screen?
there's one of these clocks. Oh no, that's a sign.
Hey Patrick, that's a magical clock too, where it's drawn on top of everything.
What? Oh, my hand's green. I can't test this.
Oh, point your teleporter at it.
Oh.
The tree render's in front of it.
Oh yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
I love how we're all pointing out all
The
of the
red
flaws.
teleporter, yeah.
Screw you
Every
all.
little flaw.
Listen, that's why we're here.
He's like,
this-
why
I
are
love
you
it,
all
man.
here? Why did I invite you terrible people to mine?
This is
This was a lot more fun when I was in here by myself. But aside from that, thanks.
Why can't I roll the
High five.
barrels?
High five.
nice done. Nicely done.
Okay, here's a question. Does anybody see a clock on that screen?
Nope.
On what? On the
Nope.
big screen? I'm the only one.
No.
Trying to
No,
stack
no
bottles.
clock.
I see your
Ah!
cool logo.
One fell and broke.
Nope. No clock. All right.
No clock.
A broken clock. All right.
It might be from Dev and I
Oh,
being
really?
admin at the same time.
So once they break, they actually shatter and disappear.
But I don't see Dev.
Oh,
He
that's
was
cool.
technically the last one in. I don't know where he went.
I'm right here. I'm right here. Right in the middle.
I'm just
Trigger clock
chugging
on the
bottles.
stage. But be careful with your fingers.
Really the worst juggler ever.
It looks like it's on right now, but I'll give it a shot. I can toggle it off. Toggle off and
Trying to
toggle
get him
back
to
on.
respawn.
All right, I see it. You see it?
No.
I can't see it. Nope.
See?
All right.
There you go.
Does everybody see the floating?
I have a bottle.
Everybody see the floating green one here?
Everybody
okay?
has a bottle. You have a bottle?
What?
No.
I got one floating right here in front of your face.
Nope.
No?
Ah,
Oh,
that's just
there it
you.
is.
Oh, that's cool. It's my own special.
Oh, I wanted that one.
I think the first takeaway is that we've got way too many bottles here. This is
No.
No, you don't have enough bottles, you mean?
What flavor
Only
is dark
more
blue?
bottles.
Then we need to put
The
3 more
takeaway
bottles.
is
You need at
takeaway
least
is
3 more bottles.
the bottles need labels.
There's not enough bottles. Okay.
Not enough
Yeah.
bottles, and they need labels.
Brandon,
They
not
need
enough
actual
bottles.
alcohol
That was
in them too.
Slightly concerned
That's-
that
Yeah,
the
I think you
state
should
clock's not
devote
working.
CPU and
I
testing
think you-
sources
Yeah,
to like the
sponsorship
fluid
opportunity
change.
for
That's
the bottle.
a basic.
Oh, yeah.
And
ray
Alex
tracing.
did
Yeah,
that.
it's kinda
Alex-
cool.
Alex did that, right?
That was amazing.
That was
I
a
want to
really
be
cool
able to.
little
I want to
thing.
be able to see the like bubbles in my bottle when I
Yep.
move
What I
around.
think, like,
We'll do that. Done.
what you said.
What flavor
that was
is navy
the-
blue?
The most
Bubbles
recent
in the
end
bottle.
of the admins, I
Sold.
think, is what
Do
you were
that.
saying.
Mm-hmm.
I want the
buy it.
virtual alcoholic experience.
Maybe. I
Okay.
don't know. We'll see.
We're
We'll
going
roll
to
with it. See
explore
what
your
happens.
Yeah.
vision, and we will induce vomiting.
Should we, like,
I guarantee
Try
it.
hiding the stage and bring
All
it
you
back
have
and
to
see
do is
what
rotate
happens.
the camera like
Oh, I can't catch it.
We're just
Yeah,
gonna
well,
take
Patrick-
Because it
control
really
of your
matters if
head.
Patrick is able to do it.
To trigger when he wants to, yeah.
Just
Yeah.
shake the camera a lot.
Oh, I
That's
caught it.
right.
Yeah. I was trying to throw up the bottles and catch them.
I'm trying to throw up something else.
Ooh, I caught it again.
Well, I guess in theory we should be able to juggle these, huh?
I tried, but it's pretty
I
hard.
juggled two.
Do it.
You
Oh,
have to have
wow,
someone toss
yeah.
you the third one, basically.
Yeah. Well, okay.
We've learned how to.
Oh.
We've
It's
learned how to
hard to-
occupy man.
It's hard to see because your
Nice.
peripheral
Oops, I
vision
knocked it
isn't
over.
there.
Yeah, you
I
gotta.
feel
Here
like
it
the rock
goes.
stackers at the lakes.
Yes.
you can tell.
I can't juggle in real life,
Watching
so
the
I.
bandwidth
Ready, Paul? Go.
carrier networking.
Oh,
Yeah.
You can tell
Go.
stable things are by the
It's funny
physics
'cause
simulation. So that's what I'm testing.
All the bottles across the bar.
I'm just
moving.
trying to figure out if the universe is working
Exactly.
properly.
It's moving.
Zach,
That's how we know
Yeah.
that we're in VR.
Gonna find a way to break
That's
it. It's
the
super
only
Hey, oh,
indication.
if you throw it slow enough.
Well,
Oh yeah, you did.
there's a little bit of lag there.
Look at this. Look at this physics. This is awesome.
Now.
Good job,
I
Matt.
see three. I see three. On top.
Oh, it didn't break though.
This bottle's over here, and the other two are like right here for me.
Mine are all still in a row, so we've got different simulations going on, but they aren't moving.
Dropped it.
They're totally stopped.
You think you can grab the middle one?
Try it.
The yellow one is sliding away slowly.
Are these two
Mine.
playing
Oh, they stole the
Twister?
bottles.
Oh.
I've
Yeah,
only
that's why
been
we
able
can't
to
have
get
nice
3
things.
tall.
Yeah.
So.
Is this the VIP section?
Sorry. I feel like you
Yeah,
should be able to get
three's the
4.
limit.
Now, Zach.
Oh,
Let's push it to the
hey,
limit.
boss.
It's just like maybe if I help you and hold
We were
them.
seeing different things in the sim.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just get everyone to like stack up here and everyone holds a bottle.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then that's like the rest of the
So,
evening.
I think that's really
That'd be pretty good. All right, you put the
whole
no on.
system
Top 5 of the week.
intended to just bug out.
I need to be able to have
Uh,
my tongue stick out of
it's
my
like that
avatar to
elephant
show that
thing.
I'm concentrating.
as like the entrance as the first thing that you can.
Oh no,
interact
tall
with.
people.
Mhm.
What the heck?
Oh shoot. This isn't working
I
because I don't know
feel,
when to
I
let
feel
go.
at a disadvantage.
How did that happen?
Extremely tall.
Oh, we're doing
There
it.
you go.
Paul's not that tall.
It's still,
Uh,
it's still
No,
wobbling.
my,
gonna wobble and die.
I think I
This
started
bottle is
No, no,
like
we can stop it.
perpetually wobbling.
pretty far from the floor.
And
Oh, maybe.
it's
Good job,
one of the
Ian.
Little things.
Oh,
There we go.
someone's
done.
down.
All right, now the yellow one is sliding. through.
Yeah.
I already tried recentering on the floor. They don't let that happen
These two are
because I wanted to
staying.
be tall like
Okay.
tall like Paul.
And this one is just like
on the floor without it
this way.
breaking.
Now it's
Oh my
folding.
goodness.
Hello,
I think it's just a Y coordinate test. So you gotta
So what if
you'd have to
grab
get
it when
really
it's
lucky.
floating? Can you grab it from where it is?
Yeah.
It'll
But like they don't
snap
seem to
in
break
there.
on the
Yeah, it's
table.
snapped in. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right on. Interesting.
Like, how high can you go?
Well, this won't be
Hit
an
the
Olympic
table.
sport, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Not with that issue.
No, no esports.
Manus is doing it.
Well, I'm
He's not
excited to see
doing
how
it
the
anymore.
presentation stuff works. We've been doing a bunch
There goes
of
the
this.
red one.
It's still just shockingly hard.
I
to get
read one.
interactive like presentations into VR. It's so dumb, right? It's like
Crazy.
it's like minting an NFT to get a presentation into VR.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think
Aw.
our
No,
takeaway is just that every little thing that you can't take anything for
Stay.
granted.
Oh,
Like, it's just
the
everything
collider
works
is
out
bigger than I
perfectly.
think it is.
And then the other thing we
Picking up an
realized is that
object.
every time we add a new feature,
Mm-hmm.
we have to make
I
sure
hear
that
children.
works with every other.
I was gonna say, are
system
there
we
children
That makes
or
me feel at
really
home in
good?
VR. Hearing screaming
Yeah,
kids.
we have found some hilarious.
Well, if we were in rec room,
bugs.
they'd be,
Just like,
nope,
that's
I don't know,
amazing. Let's
running
figure
around
out
in
how-
circles
how
and
it happened.
screaming
You
and
can't replicate it.
Since Christmas, it's every
Awesome,
app. Every
Oh,
free app
every-
So
Every
Yeah.
free
Like
app
a
that
game like Zelda Breath of the Wild
has- runs
they
on
have
the
all
Quest
those
has-
systems and they work together
has-
and they're part of the game. It's incredible, right?
chemistry
Like
system and the-
hey, you
Yeah.
catch that latest episode of SpongeBob?
that are bananas.
What's happening, Gage?
yeah,
My favorite Reddit
Oh,
story
not much.
Are you
from
artificially tall
January
again?
was I told one
yeah, I
kid in
was,
rec group that he was under
I went
13,
upstairs
and
to
then
try to
they
fight
both kicked me, and now I'm banned from rec group.
The guy was teleporting around.
So they've taken
My
over.
friend, who's not the smartest. I think he got banned. I'm not sure.
You're banned from rec room?
Is that
That's true.
a
Well, then you're
fixable
truly
solution,
hacked by all definitions.
Yeah, exactly. We would've
or
done
is
the
there a
same
solution
thing.
to
It's not
Except
what?
There'd be a Lambo parked on the
that? Oh,
grass.
I don't know. Like he can't get in. He types in the code. It's just fixed him.
That's not tacky for sure.
I don't know if he got banned or
It'd be
not,
really
but
proud, especially if it was yellow.
That's right.
I don't think there's
Testarossa.
panic, so yeah, I don't know.
That Lambo.
What's happening when he's typing it in?
Up there, yeah.
he just gets he types in the code and then it just closes
Are
the
you still
program.
down, honey?
Cool.
Do you want to come back in?
Huh.
Man,
I'll maybe ask him to reinstall.
I'm old, yeah.
Okay.
Uninstall and reinstall. See if that'll solve it. That's the first I've heard of that. He doesn't even get
I
to
made
like
a little bottle pyramid.
onboarding. It just crashes
Kind of.
before
He typed
he
in
even gets to
code,
choose a
it's
color or
like
name or
select
anything.
his color. I heard something about a color bug. I'm not sure.
I mean, you just
Yeah, actually, maybe just have him.
You need like
Yeah, that might be it. Especially if he's on a one. I'm told that it's worse on a one. But yeah, try. I'll try reinstall and then do that.
Hey Matt,
All right, sounds good.
Certainly,
Thank
like,
you.
I've been hearing people have been getting crashed. It's like, yeah, I mean, hopefully it works. Who knows?
How's performance on your end?
What was it?
There we go.
Okay, I gotta look it up.
Great
and you're
for
not
me
running
with the
Edge-
two.
and you're not running an Edge
Okay,
plugin.
sweet.
Trust me.
Swallow bag.
Dang, I heard that.
Your bar needs hot dogs.
Fireworks.
Hey, buddy, we're gonna get rolling. If you'd like to assemble on the grass quad. Ooh, fireworks.
The grassy knoll. Drinks over there. Grassy knoll.
Fireworks are fantastic.
David, what is the communication channel for us?
Hello, everyone.
What's the communication channel? So I just shout at your camera and you talk back? Okay, sounds good. Yeah, the you might want to get in the front. The second slide's got kind of small text.
Do you want to be
Ooh.
in here for the presentation, honey?
Look at this. See, this is the difference of a private app and a public app. Is we just barely signal you, and almost everybody becomes quiet.
Right.
Almost everybody. It's like the dream classroom.
Except that Zach guy.
Yeah, he keeps just yapping.
All right, I'm asking for it. So welcome everybody. You are at MNVR and HCI, and how many people are here for the first time? Never been to
I'm in this
a meeting.
space for the first time. Is that
No,
count?
how many people have never been to a meeting? Anybody? All right.
Anybody?
How many new Quest owners since Thanksgiving, Christmas time period?
Oh yeah, that's interesting. And are you
Yeah.
greater
Oh, yeah,
than
it is.
13
That's
years
a good
old?
question. Yeah.
And if you're under 13, you have to leave. Yeah, it's an interesting year.
You can
If
take
you've
this
been around
whenever.
for a while, just going to any public space now in January, it's a big difference. Rec Room was already taken over because they had a console and mobile version, but any of the Quest exclusive stuff is now taken over as well. And that whole under 13 Not true.
Yeah.
Terms of service
Thinking,
from Oculus / Meta / Facebook
go get some
is
water and everyone was going
straight
to
out the
work.
window.
Yeah.
So,
Jesus.
So Zach, you would expect like people to be throwing bottles at you and such.
just screaming and teleporting as fast as they can in a circle, basically. Yeah. My favorite story from Reddit from us crusty old timers was, I mentioned to one kid in rec room that he was under 13 and he should be quiet and not be there. And then the whole group banned me. They did a vote here.
That's awesome.
And I'm coming to Reddit to complain directly to Facebook about this problem of their terms of service not being honored.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where it's at. So having a private space like this sidesteps a lot of those problems. Like I said, we barely signaled you and never be assembled and got quietish. I'm going to show you how to mute if you need to talk or have background noise. So again, because this is a private app, it's not built in, but it's in your menu. So on your left controller, you can click that menu button and your hands will fall to the floor like this. Like this.
Oh.
Okay, let's try that again. Right hand, Oculus
Right
button.
hand.
Right hand. Fall to the floor. But you can still talk. And right away, you have access to a mute. Where is it?
How do we kick you?
You have to go settings in the lower left.
You're getting kicked. You have to click on your clock to get to the quick settings. Then you can mute. Now I'm back. And if you're lazy and sitting down like me, there's one other setting of interest. If you click on the upper right and go into settings and dig into the real settings menu, there's a mobility, accessibility then mobility option to adjust your height, and it'll pop you up about 1.5 feet. If you're using a track keyboard, that setting's incompatible. It'll pop up your track keyboard right here where you can't see it. Well, you take down here, your keyboard's up here. So if that ever happens. Now with the newest OS, they've expanded track keyboards to 2 different keyboards, but they can still hear. That's the beauty of the new OS. So so if things get noisy or you need to talk, just mute yourself for a sec and come on back. The other thing you can do, it's probably even more convenient if you just step
I'm really
back.
high now.
Actually,
Oh, no.
I can see people getting taller.
Oh man.
If you step just past the grass, you'll be quieter to the rest of the people
I already
that are on the grass.
That was glitching out.
That's another option. So welcome. You're at this thing here. Even if you've been here for a while, you probably recognize we got some new artwork. So new colors, new artwork.
Nice.
Cool.
For everything except the VR group.
Thanks,
But
Evan, Mike.
maybe next year.
Gotcha.
It's got like a nice style going on though. It's got like a stylized kind of look to it.
Somebody
Yeah.
put a lot of work into that. Yeah.
kinda
My
Star
big
Trek.
hope.
Yeah,
My
reminds
big
me of
hope is-
Starfleet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My big hope
Yeah.
is that we can get back together and start ordering custom shirts
Pizza.
Oh
that
yeah.
look like Star Trek. You know, that you can get the red, the purple, the blue, or the
Oh.
other blue that I don't know what color that is. And
Uniforms.
they'll determine what order you get killed on the alien planet.
Yeah.
But so IGDA Twin Cities is a chapter of the IGDA, International Game Developers Association. And MN VR and HCI is a little spin-off from that. We've got one other spin-off right now that I'm going to forget the the official name of it, but they do playtesting every month. And they've got hookups. If you want to playtest a game that's only got local inputs, they'll facilitate people doing that over the internet. If you've got a board game, they'll get a virtual version of that running for you. So that's nothing to check out. The important part is, if you sign up on Eventbrite, you'll get invited to all of these. So when you unsubscribe, you're unsubscribing from everything, not just this cool event.
The cool event.
Yeah. Okay, next slide, sir. Where you went, Patrick? Lost him. Patrick.
Here we go.
New slide.
It changed.
Here's a great example of how hard it is to present text in VR. If you're not in the front row, you have no chance of reading this, so I'll read it to you. Another tradition we have here is hosting a local site for the Global Game Jam. The Global Game Jam is, well, it's global. It's been the largest game jam running for several years. I'm getting an echo from Matt Foreman.
Oh, I'll turn that off.
You just turn down your volume a smidge.
Yep.
And we've run a local site. I think we started in 2012. very modest digs in the nerdery, and we've been expanding ever since. Last year was virtual because of COVID. This year was going to be in person, but then we had Omicron, and so now it's virtual again. But encourage people to check it out, whether or not they participate. It's just kind of cool. The big attraction for me every year is it's just, dedicating an entire weekend. I get permission a whole year ahead of time to dedicate an entire weekend to just making some weird project. And because your timeline is 48 hours, and that includes some sleep and some eating, you kind of got to go with the flow, and you end up with all these crazy designs. To kind of preserve the in-person feelings of Global Game Jam, last year we did a project in Rec Room. And so the first night we just tested every physical object, every kind of weird scripting and interacting in physics and climbing. And it turns out the best physics object in Rec Room is the bucket. And all the other ones kind of break under networking load. And the other cool thing we found is you can put a costume on somebody, and a guy, Shane, that was on our team, built a costume out of primitives and the toothpaste extruder, and it sort of looked like a cow. So by day 2, the theme had come together as Bucketar. You're a minotaur that kills people with buckets. And we just rolled from there. But that's been kind of the thing every year, is you have these funny accidents. You hit a brick wall, you just take a left turn and go 90 degrees a different direction, and you come up with these weird designs that you never think of, and that's kind of fun. And then even if you're not going to do a big project or a group project, if you just want to learn something, it's a great environment to stay motivated and get feedback and just kind of be around doing that. So encourage you to try out. If you're not a programmer, if you don't know Unity, you don't want to learn Unity necessarily in a single weekend, like I said, you can use kind of these pre-built engines like Rec Room or Roblox, or I think I'm going to probably try Meta Horizon Worlds, whatever it's named this year. I'm going to try the Facebook version of Rec Room for this year's
Is that
event.
what you're going to do for yours? Interesting.
I think so, yeah. It recently expanded. I don't know how many people heard this. They just banned Quest 1, middle of January, and they had a big release, and now the rooms went from a max of either 4 or 8. Now the rooms max out at 32 people. But when you put that slider to 32, you've used up 95% of your compute budget for that room. So there's a trade-off between users and interactivity. But yeah, give it a shot, I think.
What was I gonna say? Never mind. Move on.
One of the Game Jam sponsors, I'm gonna get their name wrong. I'm gonna look at my computer fast. There's kind of a web version of that.
Are you playing a violin right now, Zach?
Those are finger games.
You like that? Watch this.
The conductor is in.
Do a magic trick.
One of the Global Game Jam sponsors that's new for this year just put the collaborative version of their engine into public release. It's called Big Bang. David, he's here somewhere, right there. He's a short cameraman guy that's probably not going to talk now, but ask him later. He tried it out with his son, I think. And it's like a web version of this. It's a collaborative environment. You can move around in the environment, and you can each do it from a web browser that's running on a PC or a tablet or what have you. So that might be an interesting thing to try. And like all of these wonderful pre-built things, you're going to hit something that just breaks. It's guaranteed. And then you just take a right turn and work around it. Change your design.
Zach, I remember my question.
Oh, what's the question?
Did they allow other app developers to block Quest 1?
I don't know. So I have an old install of Worlds on my Quest 1. I was going to try it out later. I didn't get a chance. But I would think the performance will be pretty bad because they really cranked up the limits from what they used to be a year ago.
I was just curious because they have been kind of mum on, making apps that are specific to one device or the other.
Yeah.
And if they officially did that, you would think that it would also be an option for
like App Lab apps?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if they just get more lax on the performance testing, maybe. let nature take its course.
You mean by the fact that they let Rec Room on there and it runs like crap?
and VR chat, which is even worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
So The one thing you can read on this slide is the URL. If you're interested in this, that is our local site, which was going to be in person and is now online. 8 p.m. on Friday is going to be kind of the kickoff ceremony. We'll run it in the local Discord.
Nice.
So you can check it out. You can kind of be casual. You can show up in the middle of the weekend and just see what's going on. There'll be people running video streams or just people chatting, and it's pretty cool. And let me know if you do a VR project. We'll try to fit it into a future meeting. But yeah, that's all I got. Any questions on Global Game Jam before I hand it over?
Who's Amber Waves of Games?
Yeah. So they're a neighboring state. I think they're based in Illinois or Midwest anyway. And they've done online jams for a while. And the initial thought was we were going to do an in-person site. They were going to do the online portion for people that didn't want to do in person. And then we just have, all get together at the end for the post-mortem. The whole COVID's got a little out of hand here in December and January, so we switched to being online as well. But when the next main IGDA-TC meeting comes up, it'll be post-mortems from the Game Jam. So that'll be about 2 weeks from now. And we'll include them in that meeting and their teams. And we're going to do kind of a cross-pollination thing. If there's anybody, that is an artist looking for developers or coders looking for an artist, that kind of stuff. So we'll kind of do a collaborative bit between our two Discords. That's another thing I should say. I didn't mention explicitly, but you can show up with a team, you can show up without a team. And I did mention you can show up just to learn something, just to keep yourself focused for 48 hours instead of flipping back over to Hulu and Netflix and whatnot. We've seen all that, and we've seen some of the coolest games come out of single-person teams, and we've seen just amazing collaborations between people that didn't know each other, and just everything in between. It's a good opportunity, and especially if you're gonna I'm gonna try something in Unity. How often do you have 48 hours of access to all the local Unity game devs? Not very often. So it's a good place to get help too if you need it for that time period. So cool. I'll turn it over to team. Well, I can't see these names. Who's talking next? Patrick?
Hey, Orange Cylinder.
Orange Cylinder. Yo. Take it away, sir.
Yo. All right. Where's YouTube? Where's the YouTube man?
YouTube man's the polygon. Where'd he go?
Oh.
Hey,
moved.
YouTube
Again. There he is.
All right. Let's do this.
YouTube is here.
YouTube in the house.
Mr. YouTube.
Everybody, give it up for YouTube. Good friend, YouTube. Yeah. So I see a lot of familiar names, or I did when I was close enough to see them. A lot of familiar geometric shapes. So I think everybody here, we all know each other. I will do for YouTube some quick introductions, and then we'll just run through the slides on what we do, what we did. So my name is Patrick Sweeney. I'm the founder and the chief lunatic of PuzzleFox. And I'm going to jump into our... Boom. Okay. So we do VR, AR, mobile apps, games, and location-based experiences that we've kind of been tiptoeing into, or we were tiptoeing into, and we hope to be doing more of that stuff. I'm going to stand right over here, actually. Woo! So you can all get your map screens in view.
All the map maps.
All the map maps.
Question.
Yo, already we have a question already on the side. Yes.
Do you want questions?
You with a green triangle.
Do you want questions?
That's a meta question.
Yeah.
Wow. I do like questions.
As we go, questions.
If it seems like super pertinent, or that you don't have a way to write it down because we're in VR, I guess you can just toss it out. We will do questions at the end. So if you can remember it, that's cool. But So I guess if you call out a question, you're just saying that you don't have a good memory. That's fine too. We can deal with that. Like we're going to be adaptive to your needs, especially yours.
I have a good 30 milliseconds and I'm just gone. So
Okay. All right. Well, then you just there's no shame in that game. There's no, you know, that's the
Patrick,
way.
it's a really great idea to insult everybody before you start. It's like a great start to your puzzle.
But I haven't got to everyone yet. That's the only problem. And I don't have enough time to insult everybody here. You all suck. I don't know what to say.
In this economy?
I love you, YouTube. Why? Okay. All right. We're doing great. This is awesome. We're doing great. That's my name at the top. I did laid out the design. Got to do a lot of the fun bits. Quiet down everywhere. Brandon, Brandon's in the back. Brandon's our designer. So if anything works at all, we have Brandon to thank for getting things functional. Dev Jana, a lot of you know Dev. I think everyone knows Dev. Dev is largely responsible for the madness and the mayhem that we're going to see in the gallery in just a little bit. Also helped with keeping us on timelines and organizing some QA. Bottles. There's bottles. David, Mr. YouTube, who's also running our YouTube cam tonight. David built the backend server that we use for the passcode. So whenever you logged in on the passcode tonight, I did something that admin portal that David built for us, so we could set those up. And then Gage is here as well. Gage also worked on some of the custom 3D assets and helped with QA. Next slide. Okay, so we're going to talk about why we did this and how we did it, like what the tools we used, and then show off some of the features that we have figured out. So our main goal when we started this project was to prototype arcade experiences for location-based entertainment. So doing VR, multiplayer, arcade stuff. And it sort of evolved from there, and we'll talk more about that. Quick side note, sidetrack here. I've talked about APA at some of our previous meetups. If you don't know what IAPA is, wait, I know someone here has been to IAPA. Not here. Okay. So IAPA is not here now, not here tonight, but watching on YouTube.
You should throw an insult in there, but just
somebody on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, whoever has been to IAPA but didn't come tonight, that's like at least 30,000 people that are dead to me now. Sorry. So IAPA is a theme park attractions expo. It's held in Florida. It's an international organization. So if you work in the theme park industry or entertainment centers or carnival, then IAPA is where you go to do your shopping. And so I've been a few times. This is a picture of Brandon playing Beat Saber. And this is when he walked up and the guy's like, "Hey, you ever played Beat Saber before?" And he was like, "No." And then he gets on and he's just like, and we laughed and we're like, "Yeah, that was awesome." And it was awesome. So anyway, so my first year at IAPA, I came back and my mind was blown, and just like quick framework, background, context. My first job was working in a theme park. I worked for a lot of years in the hospitality industry and restaurants. I worked in a hotel, worked in retail, and then I studied film and theater in college, and now do video games, interactive stuff. And so I came back. I know this is kind of hard to see on the VR headsets, but YouTube can probably see it. So I came back, and this was my takeaway from my Apple was I'm going to design my own entertainment center, and you've got party rooms and theaters and a mini golf, VR, food service building, model train exhibit. And I came back to the office and I was like, guys, this is where we're headed. This is what we're doing, and it feels pretty far out of left field, kind of a divergence from what we normally do. It served as a mental model or kind of an example for a hypothetical place for anything that we were going to build. So in the office, we would prototype different ideas. We were moving the chairs around one day, simulating a boat, like a pirate ship, motion control rig type thing. And all of our conversations were, how would this fit into PuzzleFox Park? And so this was PuzzleFox Park 1.0. And then COVID happened, 2020, and we closed down the office and we all went home. And that was pretty much, I don't know, there's nothing really good to say about that. You guys know about COVID?
Yeah.
There's a few.
Sounds
All right.
familiar.
Well, you can Google, or you can go on YouTube. We just kind of went back in. We started working remote and finishing up different projects that we were already on. We had a little bit of downtime in our. We had some R&D hours to kill, and we started experimenting with Normcore and just kind of goofing around with it on and off. Found it really gets going pretty quickly. And then right around, I'd say last June, started working on what ended up becoming this space. And what we were doing was just prototyping different interactions. So it started with, let's get Normcore working. Let's see if we can add an interaction. Let's build a system to do this. What if we add this? What if we take bottles that will shatter? You know, people can just mess around with it in a meeting when you're trying to talk. Like, what if we just do all this stuff? And what was crazy was that while we're working on the project and prototyping things, we started having water cooler moments. And what I mean by this is that I would be working in the app, working on the feature, and then Brandon would pop in because he's working on the feature, and then we'd just like bump into each other. And it might sound like a super sloppy way to develop a multiplayer project because we were in different builds and just happened to run into each other. But it was really awesome. We would bump into each other and then just end up chatting for an hour about whatever, because, oh, hey, how's it going? Oh, you're in here too. Yeah. What are you working on? And I couldn't see what he's working on. He couldn't see what I was working on. But it didn't matter because we're, oh, I'm building this thing over here by the fireplace and I'm doing this. And so then we kind of realized, like, maybe we don't need to just prototype a game idea, but we should build a space to hold our ideas. And we can't really build a big corporate campus, but we could build a virtual one that is a cool place to hang out and serves as a sort of place to hold all of our ideas. And so then this became PuzzleFox Park 2.0, where we took the ideas of maybe PuzzleFox Park is not a physical location, maybe it's a virtual location where we can do anything we want. And so this is the first drawing of this place. Ended up pretty close to this with a few changes. We had some features that we wanted to add that we haven't gotten to yet.
I'm glad the bar made it.
What's that?
I'm glad the bar made it in.
Yeah,
the bar was first
for drinking sodas and lemonade and root beer. I'll just look. So the idea of the space was, and to chunk it out, was that we would have different spaces with different rules. Because let's say we got an idea that doesn't really work with the rule of the world or the physics of a certain environment. Well, then we'd have different spaces where this space might have these rules and this space has these rules. We kind of threw some of that out as we've been building it out. That was the original idea, was just like, well, where would that fit? So we've got the R&D lab, which truth told is just a door right now. But eventually it'll just be a big empty space where we can just throw stuff that doesn't fit anywhere else. We've got our stage, the historic courtyard here. We've got the clubhouse, and we've got the gallery, which is not really futuristic. It's just more weird, but the future's weird. So I don't know what to say.
Confusing.
Confusing.
I got feelings.
All right. So we're doing good on time. Any questions? Okay. Good.
Summer, that's a question.
He's muted.
Okay.
I got a question.
Let's be muted.
You
you'd mentioned on a previous run of this, one of the water cooler moments is one of the people actually in the Unity editor on their PC while a VR person wanders through on the scene they're working on. Like, what is that like? How does that work?
Yeah, okay, so, yeah, let me jump to the tools. All right, so we use Unity 2019.4. And what Zach is talking about is we'd have these cases where, and we do it all the time now for testing different things, but somebody will be in the headset, in space, somebody else is watching in the editor in Unity, they hit play, and then, oh yeah, I can see you walking around in there, I can see you roaming around. And it's been really helpful for debugging stuff because, if I'm picking up an object that's not syncing the way it should sync, then the person in the editor can check the hierarchy and kind of see where things have gone wrong. So we use 2019.4, Normcore 2.0. By default, Normcore gives you syncing of transforms. So you get position, rotation, scale, and then the voice chat. It's all built in, and it all basically comes for free. Brandon added the eye blinking, which was a nice touch. Nice touch. Yeah, the thing that it doesn't do very well out of the box is sync anything else. And there are some examples for syncing a few different things. I know Matt Summers, I know you've worked with Normcore, but we found this parameter binder that you can just Google this. It's kind of an amazing plugin. You just drop it in, and it adds all these other things that you can sync. And Brandon could talk more about the sort of technicals of what it enables us to do, but it sort of became the foundation for, well, can we do this? Yeah, we could do it through that. And so it sort of sits in between our code and Normcore. For the interactions, we're using the Mass Games VR Interaction Unity packages. And we tried a handful of different interaction packages, like off-the-shelf plugins or kits. And and we started working with VR Interaction Framework, which is really popular, but it does so much stuff. It's just really, really lots of knobs and buttons and hinges and guns and everything else. Where this script is really simple. I mean, it's compact in a way that's easy for us to edit. And what we wanted to do was start with something that was really simple so that we could adapt it later if we needed to. So let's get the basics working with a script that we know everything that's happening in this script so that we're not starting with another black box on top of a black box on top of a black box. And then this guy's scripts, the Mass Games stuff, also has the teleport stuff as well. It's hooked into that. And apparently teleporting in VR and Unity is stranger than I thought. I mean, I guess the scripts to do it are more complicated than I thought they would be because of some magic mumbo jumbo that I don't understand. Hey, tell it like it is, YouTube. All right, we're using Bakery for light mapping and light probes. I think we could still optimize that quite a bit. Lots of us in here. Did I get a boo? Was that a boo?
That was a woo.
That was a woo.
Big difference.
That was a woo. That was a woo. I hit your woos. Thanks for the woo. I mean, just a little more in the W. Next time. Just next time.
Zoo.
But that was, I mean, we're good now. Okay, and then Pro Builder, Asset Store, Kit Bashing, Custom Models. So it's sort of a kind of a hodgepodge of let's get something built up, and then if we want to customize it more later, we can do that. So the ground is Pro Builder. The windows are from various Asset Store, models that we brought in and light mapped, and then sort of a mix of custom meshes to fit everything together.
To the ground.
About the wainscot.
Okay, Normcore works. Normcore works on this model view controller method, so it's a little bit different from Photon. If anybody's used Photon, where basically your game object updates the controller on the server, updates the model of that object,
or is it just me?
and then the controller updates everybody else. And that's basically how it works.
Just me? Okay. So this
So-
orange bottle started just bouncing up and down like crazy for me, and it is tanking my frame rate. And
We
it's
got
making, like, a
some bottles.
sound. Okay.
Yeah, it was making a
You
sound.
grabbing it now just fixed it for me.
That's better.
Okay, cool.
Oh, that's the sound of the bottle.
Thank you.
I wondered what that was. Okay.
I don't know. I don't know whose good idea it was to put all those bottles in here, but
That fix it?
oh.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the whole point of this, we can talk more about this if you have any questions about it. But the interesting thing about Normcore is that it's very, very easy to get up and running. Everybody has to own, or everything to be owned by someone. And so when you pick up a bottle, you own that bottle until it comes to rest, or until somebody else picks it up. And that's the case for everything else. So when we're syncing events like setting off fireworks, then I'm owning those fireworks and I own that event. And then that just communicates to all of your headsets that we've started fireworks. But that event is still owned by the host. Same thing for controlling slides. So I've got an invisible panel up here. It's not invisible to me, or it'd be real hard to use, but it's invisible to you. And it lets me get next slide and previous slide and all that kind of magic sauce. There are really two tiers of Normcore, which makes it really accessible for getting up and trying it out. The free tier, 30 concurrent users. You can have 10 different room names. There's a 1-hour session limit, which we've only seen happen once in testing, where we were in here and then we just blipped out. And it happened to be right at the hour mark. But we've also been in here for longer than that, and no one's blipped out. 50 room hours is really the limiting factor. So that's per month. And a room hour is one. So we're all in a room right now. We've got 16 people in here. So we're using 16 room hours. 18. Do I have a 19?
19.
So we got about 18 room hours right now. Hey, we put a hammer in just in the notes. Hammer, gavel. Okay, so we're on the pro tier. So you're all on the pro tier. So you're joining the majesty of pro tier. And which basically means we don't have to really worry about scaling up to the levels that we would be using this. What we found in our testing is that we're not passing nearly enough data to hit that data limit before we would hit the 50 room hour limit. And the same thing with this. We're going to run the numbers after this meeting, what we ended tonight, because as Zach was saying, like, this is exponential, it's not linear, because there's so much more data being passed around. And our frame rate will attest to that. But 1,000 room hours, I think we would hit that before we hit 3 terabytes of data. They also offer a Pro Plus, which basically means that once you hit those tiers, they'll start billing you either by the hour or by the gigabyte that you use. We're on the Pro tier, which means that if we hit those limits, our service just gets shut off for the month. And if we hit that limit, then that means that, man, we're running a lot of VR HCI meetings. So I'd say find something else to do with your life. Okay, so now we're going to do what? We're talking about what we can do in here and what we figured out. So we have a few different things that we can trigger off here. And also, thank you everyone for coming tonight and helping us really stress test this, because a lot of the stuff you can't test by yourself. You can't test with 2 or 3 people. And so having this many people in here and me just even having the nerve to push one of these buttons to see what happens. I mean, I think I should get just some applause for that too, so that we're all giving each other applause. We don't have, he's not clapping, but I can hear your controllers clicking, which is helpful. Thank you. Okay, I appreciate that. All right, so we're gonna see how some of this works. The main thing we started adding, so again, remember, like, we started this project because we were trying to build a multiplayer arcade game. So when I started putting the slide together, it kind of feels a little absurd because as we realize, well, we need a space where we're going to have our own meetings, well, we should have a way to run some slides. We should have passcode to make it event based so that we can host it somewhere. People can come in and not come in, but it's like a company campus, so we need a passcode on the door. The avatars, it's really simple. It's not very complex yet, but the big question we had at the beginning was, can we just get it working at all? Where you can pick your color, you can pick your head shape, and then it syncs to everybody else. Just getting that so that I see you as you want to be seen, which is what we all want, right? So
Triangle.
Triangle.
Cylinder.
Especially that triangle guy over there.
Triangles only.
Triangle man, triangle man.
Laser line.
We're I don't remember the words. Clocks. So that was the other thing is that we kept running over. We'd schedule a time for a meeting and we'd come in and we'd be like chatting about something and we'd all look at our watch in real life and be like, oh my God, we're like 15 minutes over. And so we started sticking clocks up in various places. So when you go into the clubhouse or you go into the gallery, there's clocks on the wall so that we know what time it is.
Oh my God.
And you can't go in there. Yeah, I shouldn't have said that. Okay, the other thing that has turned out to be very helpful are these chalkboards. So you saw the chalkboard at the front, guest list that lists everybody's name. If you didn't see it, trust me, it's like the most amazing thing you've ever seen, and it's right at the front. But these chalkboards over here by the clubhouse door and the gallery door, we put those up so we know when someone's in the room. Because that's the other thing, is like now larger space that we build out, we come in and, well, I see Brandon's in here, but I don't know what the heck he is. So then we get wandering around like, oh, is he in here? Is he in here? So it's really helpful, especially with having this many people. You can be in the clubhouse or you can be in the courtyard and you can glance over there and you can see which people are in there if you have Superman vision.
Ah, I don't have that.
Or you can just go closer. That's it. That's what the X is for on the controller. Teleporting. Let's see here. Okay, we also had video sync. So that was the other thing we wanted. Originally, we started with a video that would just loop. And we're like, okay, well, how do we get a video to loop? Because somebody has to own it. And so the first solution we came up with, which actually was pretty great, is that whoever is player 0 owns the video playtime. And so everyone subsequently who joins, their video starts wherever player 0 says they're at in the video. And so then you could walk into a room and everybody gets the same ish within a half second or so, which has to do with I think the power cycle on your headset probably, or maybe some network lag. But you can you can have a video playing like a branded video or something like that, and it's playing at the same place for everyone. The other thing we did after we did that was, well, we can hook it into the admin panel and we can add extra features so we can play it, pause it, stop it. And I think Dev has a video that he prepared tonight. I haven't seen it. He's giving me a thumbs up.
Nice.
Take that, you too.
Can't see it. Oh, there it is.
Whoa.
All right.
There's way too
You
much.
should have played the whole video.
It's
That
me.
would have been epic.
No. We got rickrolled.
I mean, we do have time.
Oops.
Okay? So what's great about this is aside from being like a 20-year-old joke that's still funny to me.
I appreciate it. It's still good.
We're playing it at a meeting. But this video is locally installed on all of your headsets. So
how dare you?
If you
Can I sign up for that?
yeah. So yeah, you agreed to it, allowed to play audio or something. I don't know. All right. So the other thing we have is network interaction, and this actually became really interesting. We have a really simple fix for it, but with Normcore, you have a physics object, and it doesn't matter what kind of interaction system you're using. By default, if I pick up an object and I hand it to someone, they're going to take it from me, but I'm going to see it floating in between us because I'm still holding on to it. And so what we did is we just set up a script so that if we have an object that is sparkly, because people like shiny things.
Oh wow!
You can take this and you can hand it to someone, and as soon as they take it from you, you'll release ownership of it. Yeah,
a plant.
And then the other thing that we did was
shield.
There you go. Everybody touch the cube.
It's working.
Everybody get some cube.
The most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Get some cube.
Get some cube.
That's the
2022 people.
There's a little cube for everyone out there. The other thing that we were trying to solve, and again, like so Mark and I, we were talking about this earlier, where building a space like this, every system has to work with every other system, and nothing, you can't take anything for granted. So one of the things we wanted to do was to be able to force grab an object when you can't reach it. And originally, we had force grabbing and the ability to take something out of someone's hand. And the problem with that is that we found out that you're trying to do something with an object, and people are just clicking left and right, grabbing objects.
So you
out of
found
your
out
hand.
some people are jerks.
Well, we found out some people are jerks because I was doing it to everyone.
So you're the jerk.
I'm a jerk. Yeah.
Okay.
You've got to have a jerk on your team. If you don't have a jerk on your team, you got to have a jerk. So anyway, so what we came up with force grab was that, okay, well, we'll just do it if it's on the ground. So you can still force grab an object if it's on the ground, but you can't do it if it's above a certain threshold. And we can change that later in a next update so that you can force grab it. You just can't force grab it if another person is holding it. So it's all these little things that we have to think through one at a time. And then you got to test it with a bunch of people. All right, let's see, where's my panel? There it is.
We actually don't know where it is.
You can't see it. I found it.
I believe.
Okay, so we have sync events.
Can you take this sparkly block away from me?
Yeah, you want to? Yeah, I'll collect the sparkly blocks.
I did.
Aw.
That's not what he asked.
Oh, that's not what he meant.
Oh. Hey.
Let's see. There's another one in there somewhere. There's like
The infinite barrel of objects.
Party barrel.
You guys like Gallagher, right?
Huge with the kids these days.
That's
right. No, Gallagher is.
Is that a bad approximation of a watermelon? Is that what that is?
That's the best watermelon we got here. Red and purple. I don't know.
I guess kind of flat on the sides, I think.
Noel Gallagher?
Without the shell or whatever they call it.
Listen, it's not a party until someone referenced Gallagher. You guys can Google it. It's Google. Or, you can use YouTube.
It's older than Rickrolling. It's older than that.
Let's just say it's smashing.
Next video.
The big Gallagher rolls?
Okay. So you guys saw the fireworks already. We can also do weather effects like rain, but because we've got a magic, we can call events, then we can make it rain, but we can also give everybody a funny hat.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God.
Nice.
This is better than the Grand Theft Auto remaster rain. Big time.
Why?
I think that rain's
Aren't all these
gonna
hats
knock
expensive?
somebody out.
No, they're very, very inexpensive.
Okay.
And then well, don't do it now, but my daughter's favorite thing to do is go into the pond, stick her head through the wall, and then look straight down, because you can see some of the rain falling through into like the infinite abyss. Okay, just do it. That's fine.
The haptics in my
Did you make rain
that.
haptics? That's kind of nice.
Yeah, the haptics in my controllers are going
Oh
off.
yeah, there's rain haptics happening. So you get a little tippy tap.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Don't do this. It's super cool. Don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm super good at presenting.
Where are they? That's funny, Patrick.
Oh, the haptics is cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Sorry. Sorry about that. I'm turning the rain off. Okay.
Flying.
Oh, now everybody's mad.
Oh,
That was really cool. Is it gonna snow now?
Everyone's sad now. Everyone's sad. There was no more rain. That's why you can't have nice rain. All right. Okay. So we got synced events such as rain, weather, unlocking the doors, so I can unlock the doors whenever it's time to go in the clubhouse. After we finish this, we'll go in there. We're gonna try something with this many people, and we're gonna see what happens.
Crash.
Maybe. Could be. Could be. You know what to do. You know how to restart.
Yeah, you restart and then you crash when you change your color, and then you come back in again.
Do that once, maybe twice. And
I did that once. I got that once.
If you're worthy, you come back in. Okay. So here's the other thing we can do. And this is gonna get crazy. So we can give everybody blaster hands.
No way.
Shoot them! And you can do that.
It's just my hands.
How come we can't meme? Oh, we can break
You shoot the barrels. Shoot the light bulbs.
Eventually.
What's that?
Should do it. Oh.
It does not get dark. We keep the lights on for you. All right.
Can I shoot?
Yes.
This is great.
All right. Okay. All right, here we go. We're gonna try one. And this is where we're gonna see some restarts. Hey now, hey, over. I see you. I see. Okay, now that's
These are red lasers. They're not supposed to hit things.
Q-tap
lasers popping
No. You want the laser hands? You want the okay?
Yes.
Everybody be cool.
Left. No shooting down.
That's you still shooting me again.
Everyone immediately shoots
You're
down.
still shooting me again. Okay, guys, work on the bottle. We're gonna crash this thing. Here we go. This is a game. We all have to work together. Shoot the red and the green things. What? No.
Zombies?
Alien invasion?
Where?
Where?
I want to see it.
I'm not seeing anything. Oh.
I don't see anything.
What happened?
Top alien slave, Patrick, with one.
Seems
How did I get one?
How did you hot? Oh, the game he designed, he's winning. I got it.
Got it.
So next time, maybe it's invisible. Nope, not visible. But that looks pretty cool.
I don't see anything.
Yeah, there's nothing. There's nothing. It's just a bit nothing. It's quite an experiment. You guys, that's why you got in for free.
The music was pretty inspiring.
Yes.
So,
Music 10 recommend.
Technical explanation for what's going on. What you should have seen. I'm fine. I'm happy because I'm the number one. But it feels unfair because we didn't get to play the game. I think what's happening is we've got a backup admin host. So Brandon and Dev are both signed in as hosts in case something happens to me. Like if I get
Killed by aliens.
Hey, stop it. If I get hit by a bus while we're in VR, they could step in and finish the slides. But I think what's going on is there's some conflict of logic between who owns the alien invasion. And so when I hit the button, no aliens. But you know what? Something to look forward to next time.
There you go.
Woo! Nice work.
Very cool.
It is cool. I mean, I can attest.
I'm still going to win next time, though. But that, so just know that. I will still win next time.
Clue.
And that was cool. That was cool, right? I mean,
that was
that was satisfying.
That was worth it. Worth the price of admission.
I think we should have been able to kill each other.
Now,
and death respawn.
Shooting aliens.
That was probably the coolest thing I've ever done.
Hey, there's.
This
Okay.
is good.
All right, so we're getting 7:52. We are right on target. This is going well. Lessons. So these are the lessons that we have taken away. We've taken away probably thousands of lessons tonight, but over the course of development, these are our quick takeaways. The first one is to sync as little as possible. And when we started the project, the idea was we want to sync everything. We want everything to be one-to-one. And part of that came out of playing, my daughter, my kids playing Job Sim and saying like, hey, can you help me in here? And I've got to say, I can't. It's a one-player game. I can't help you. And so the idea was, well, what if we could build something, an arcade experience or something where you could help and you could be in there, and maybe Oculus is just or Facebook's gonna solve all this for us anyway. But the idea was let's just sync everything, and so then that sort of backed down to let's just sync what we have to, and then we came back from that, and it was like, do we have to sync that? Like, does that really need to be in sync, or can we just fake it? And so some of the things that you might think around the world are all in sync for everyone are just being handled locally on your own headsets and aren't actually in sync because they don't matter. I'll give you an example.
That's a lot like in sync.
In sync. There's in sync. There's Backstreet Boys. There's 98 Degrees. Hanson doesn't count. They came too late. I don't have any more examples. Birds. So I see a bird here. There's a bird up here. You guys see the birds? So the birds flying
Yeah, I
around.
did. They're nighthawks.
Okay. So the idea is, well, the birds are not in sync because this is not a bird hunting game, right? If this was the bird hunting game, those bird locations don't need to be in sync. Maybe next time it'll be a bird hunting game, and the blasters will do a little bit more. Maybe not. But so we had to make those kind of decisions, and I think it's really kind of an interesting design challenge when you're building an environment that you want to be a one-to-one, and you want to be the space where you're prototyping all of your multiplayer ideas to say like, well, maybe we don't really need to sync most of this stuff because we don't need to burn the data or the CPU to do it. So so it's syncing as little as possible. Yes. And it's syncing as little as possible, but not just like in quantity, but also in frequency. So slowing down how frequently we're checking for things that have changed. The other thing we took away is the solo performance tests don't count. So obviously, we've got a lot of people in here. This is the most people we've had in here. It's also a different experience when you're in here by yourself. And so you can't really test what the performance is like until you load it up with actual real people who are screwing around, like Zach, trying to make the bottle spin forever.
Oh yeah, I did that.
Yeah, you did that. So you need people to come in and just try to break it, in a fun and supportive way. Adjust the map bias to VR. So this one is kind of a nitpicky technical thing, but especially for these slides. So right now, our slide solution is that we throw the images into the project and we bake them in. So it's not scalable for running presentations, but it's okay for tonight. So if you throw up an image with text on it and you just import it or you show it as it is, everything is super grainy or pixelated from just a little bit. Not far away at all. I don't know what the word is for that.
Distance.
Far, not far, close. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So you can set your mip maps, which takes everything and adds a nice little blur to it. It's really aggressive in VR. And so what I found is that with the regular mip map settings for an imported sprite, if you're standing right here where YouTube is at, then the whole picture would be super blurry, as if you were like way in the back. And so adjusting so we found a shader that lets you adjust the mip bias in the shader, so you can set it per material. And it's
Are you
super
using
helpful.
that everywhere?
We're only using it on the text.
Okay.
I think, right. So that's a great question. We're not using it everywhere yet, and I think it's one of those things where that's kind of a next level optimization, because truthfully, if you're not using a bitmap, you're loading in more memory because you're loading in the entire full texture memory, even when it's far away. So you want to use bitmaps, even though it increases the size of your build, because it decreases your load in the moment. But with text, it's just not possible. And so it's like a real fine line between, okay, making this screen the right size so that it works with your field of view from the distance that you're going to be with this number of people. And it's just a lot of experimentation to get the screen size right and the font size right and the MIP bias correct. And I don't even know if we've got it dialed in completely. I think we'll keep experimenting with it. Yeah.
I have a recommendation for you.
Please.
Have you played with the vector graphics library for Unity?
Nope.
It can import SVGs, and we've had amazing experience with having actual vector artwork in VR instead of pixels, because all those problems go away.
So don't do this. Use the vector.
Yeah.
What is it called?
The vector graphics package, which is
Use the vector graphics package. That's awesome.
And,
yeah.
and what you can do then is you could take, if you had the slide in Illustrator, you could export it as an SVG.
Okay.
And then you get a super tiny little text file, and then you can just load that in at runtime, and you have a vector image.
Awesome. Yeah. So that's kind of what we want to do.
With the group here, little add-on. I was curious if anybody's tried the Oculus kind of 2D compositor APIs. I've never used them. Has anybody tried them?
No, we have.
I've used them just for
video,
the super sampling, and for video. Yeah. And if you were to do that for your text, basically any images that have small details, if you render it through the compositor layer, it gets ray traced to the what do they call it, to the compositor buffer instead of going through the iBuffer, and so it doesn't lose sharpness. And then you're only drawing. It's drawing at a resolution that's every pixel counts then, rather than relying on bitmap stuff happening in the normal 3D buffers.
Could it work from a PDF? Because our goal
if you were to use like a library to convert the PDF frame to an image, and then load that image into the compositor, yes.
So that's one of our next goals, is to be able to upload a PDF and just run it and have it just run as slides. You know, break it out.
The downside is, PDFs are big.
Yeah.
And
these image files are big. You think Rickroll took up a lot of space?
But this, if you were to have this as an SVG, it would be like 150K, something like that.
Yeah, I think some of these are like 10 megabytes compiled because of all the maps. But they're not all the same resolution either. So we've changed some of these slides that have more detail are using higher resolution. Ones like this are using lower resolution.
And the vector graphics framework will keep like your gradients and stuff, and it'll render that to like a low res texture, and then load that onto the geometry that it generates. And you have control over the tessellation that it does, so you can control how much geometry it generates. It's pretty good.
I love it.
Nice. Where'd you find the shader to do the map bias, or did you make it?
Oh man, I think it was. I don't know. It was on page like 73 of some forum thread.
So that one. So there used to just be
just
import settings, right?
There used to just be in Unity a API that you could override the map bias, but I believe it was removed.
Or I believe it doesn't work on Android.
It does not work.
I tried it.
Yeah, it does not work on Android at all. So you basically it'll work on desktop, but it also doesn't work in URP.
So this one gives you it gives you an input field on the inspector panel for the actual shader for the material.
And you can just do like -1,
which is great because you can do it for material. Yeah. Just send me contact info's up here. You can just send me send me a message.
Yeah, I
I'll
might
send
do
it to
that.
you.
That seems like a useful thing to have in the toolkit.
Yeah, especially in VR.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is our roadmap. Is we want to build out better presentation tools. I'd like to do some creature comfort kind of things. One idea that I haven't even talked to Brandon and Deb about yet is this idea that we're always in here. We're like trying to take notes, so we're like lifting up the headset. So I'd love to be able to just have everybody be able to spawn up a marker board you can write on, and then put your email in and send it to you. You don't have to put your email in once, because then it will just get saved to your player profs, as long as it's not crashing every time you load in. But once we figure that out, it'll be fine. And so then you could write some notes down, and you could hit send, and it would just send you those notes, and you'd have them in your email after you come out of VR. So there's things like that we'd like to add that make it a better collaborative space. Obviously, we've got a lot of performance optimizations that need to be done. This is our first larger scale test. You guys have broken a few things, but not everything. And I think that's okay. And then we actually want to prototype some multiplayer games.
Voice memo.
Voice memo. Well, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
text to, or speech to text would be cool. Well, I guess not. It would have to mute our microphone for you, but
yeah.
But it'd just be automatic in the tool.
So, so we've got, I mean, we can do like 3 or 4 minutes of questions if you guys want to do any questions right now. If there's any questions in YouTube land, then telepathically I'll just have to hear them. What's up?
Gallery.
All right, you guys want to move on. All right. Okay.
CJ's got a question. Or RJ.
Yeah.
I can't see. RJ, over there.
No questions? It's just dancing. Okay, I thought it was a question, but it's just a dance. Okay.
where's RJ? Oh, there he is. He's unmuting his mic.
My question is, can you handle these?
Can you guys hear me? I can hear you.
I can only hear the video.
Okay.
Oh no.
So I've been running metrics since I jumped in here, and I see it's like running kind of like right at like 45 or below. Are you guys running application space warp on this build?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
No, we're not.
Okay.
No.
Just
check. Hit me up afterwards.
You should.
Yeah. We will. Yeah, I think this is a. Yes, we're interested in anything that we can do to optimize without cutting features, basically.
Can we have guns back?
So, yeah.
Trailing aliens again.
I think you should still get the one shot. There's a lot to see yet.
There are no more light bulbs.
There! No, it's going away! You guys see it?
I see the alien.
Wait,
I can't shoot it there.
the clipping plane!
It went
clipping plane!
too far from my far field camera for us.
Clipping!
Maybe the most interesting Q&A I've ever attended.
I mean, listen, I hope everyone's learned a lot. It's been fun. Go.
It's out of this world.
Clubhouse.
Not invite us.
Aww.
Man, that's a really good question. I don't know. I mean, we haven't been working. We started this in mid-June, into June. So we've been working on this for about 6 or 7 months. And it's been filling in between other like client work that takes precedence when we're when we have deadlines and things like that. So I think for the amount of time that we put into it, I don't know that there's a huge amount that we would have done differently. But I think there's some things we're going to change based on, stress testing and things like that. I don't know, Brandon, Deb, do you guys have anything that you would have done dramatically differently?
I would have organized everything differently.
Brandon would have organized everything differently. So Brandon's answer is everything.
You, nothing. Brandon,
All
everything.
of it.
Have you broken a monitor, a TV, or stubbed a toe yet while in your experience?
I've stubbed my toe.
Not in our experience.
There we go. It's a
We
real
haven't.
app.
Yeah, it's not. We have not. I think to Brandon's answer. Yeah, I think organizing things, organizing our systems. Really, a lot of the things that we've done. The first question we have is, can we get it to work at all? Right? Like, and I think we have fewer of those now going forward. Where we started, it was like, can we get it to work at all? Performance doesn't matter. Does it even work at all? And then we'd get it working at all. And then now we're going to try to, okay, now let's make it work so that it's scalable. And scalable for 2, 3, or 4 people in here. So it's been kind of a lot of experimenting. But I think going forward, we've learned so much now about how to set up new systems that, we're going to do things differently going forward. So, good question, though. Even if I didn't have a great answer.
Clubhouse.
All right, so if we're all good on questions, I think good. I think I'm gonna open up the clubhouse, give you an idea of what we've got going on in there. We'll spend 5 minutes kind of goofing in there, and then we'll go into the gallery, and you guys can do that, and then I'll just come out here and be hanging out in the courtyard. We're gonna put this guy away.
Bye, Rickroll. Oh,
woo.
Wow.
The bulbs burn out. Then.
Now then, if you
All
want to
right,
start things
everybody
on
can
fire,
join in.
now you can.
Let's see if we can fit this many people in there. Don't be afraid.
It's
dark.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Oh, it's cozy in here.
Swing those clocks.
Yeah, very nice.
In bats.
Boys.
So there I was, just up against the grizzly bear, and then I had to take out my block.
Oh, don't get.
You're clearly trying to block the. Yeah.
Hey,
This was not intentional. It just happened to be the wrong size.
Patrick, the fish are not interactive. I'm upset.
Oh no!
You're on fire.
We'll put it on our list.
I'm sure it's at the top of the list. I want to feed them or something. I don't know.
You want to grab them?
Oh,
you can set your head on fire if you grab if you grab some firewood. You can set your head on fire.
Oh, I want to be on fire.
Yeah.
Me too.
That was a
I'm
special
bringing it
request
early.
from his back.
Yes.
Oh, it went out. Oh, huh.
Can you
How do you know if
light
you're on
someone
fire?
else on fire by headbutting them while you're on fire?
You should be able to pass the fire on to other
I don't.
humans.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I don't know. You can.
How do you know
You
if
can
you're
set
on
a
fire?
piece of wood on fire
There
from
we
something
go.
else that's burning.
Here, I've got a piece of wood on fire.
So you can set a piece of wood on fire from your head and then set something else on fire.
Yo, Doug.
Uh-oh, that's the problem with me changing the height. Now I can't
I'm
grab
muted
the
for
ball.
20 minutes. Someone just said,
Yes, you have been muted.
Is this new?
yeah, and it doesn't fit through the hoop, so.
Yes, you can set the curtains on fire.
If you point directly at it,
No,
That's
I
a pretty
can't.
good looking
It's
fire texture.
It's inside my floor.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what I was
oh,
saying.
yeah, there you go.
Fill it up. Fill
Okay.
it up.
There we go.
No.
There we go.
Okay,
How come I
I can
can't-
bounce it.
How come I can't start the chair on fire?
I'm sorry.
Oh no.
What? Oh no, you're good.
Oh no.
All right.
There's a piece of
You
wood
should
burning
be
out
I
back
think
here.
it would
Break
now.
something here.
It's a little crowded.
Sorry. I thought
Get
I
some
was.
hotter
Get
wood
that
there.
out of there.
Man, this is a mess.
Oh no.
So this is why you need a separate presentation space from
Oh,
mess
that's a
up
problem.
space, because this
No
is
doubt.
not conducive
yeah.
to.
I think that thing's stuck back there.
I mean, what a
Oh, for sure you could do work
place is
here.
a mess.
20 people at a time.
Yeah.
You want to take the YouTubes over to the gallery?
Gallery. What's up, Zach?
You want to take YouTube over to the gallery?
All right.
People
Okay.
watching?
Let's go to the gallery.
Gallery time.
Do I have to have a key? Who has the key? Oh, there it is.
There we go. It's open.
Whoa! I'm just suddenly in the gallery.
Hello.
Oh,
Around the fire.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Oh, went out. Hey, the future is weird.
Oh, there's no fire on my.
So this is what the metaverse looks like, Gage.
Yeah,
I'm familiar.
I thought there'd be more barbecue.
So I have a question. Is that if you only have 4 fingers, is that pointing or flicking somebody off? Seriously. Okay.
I got smaller.
Music.
There we go. Almost got the whole song. Come on. There we go. All right.
Wait,
hold on.
That's gonna create some unexpected mayhem. Yeah. So, trying to freak it out, and
Where are the
Here you go, dude. I'm trying to there it is. Oh, it's on the ground now. Oh, there you go. You got it. All right, now hold it and then teleport out of there.
Yeah,
and then
teleport out. It should get huge.
Teleport out. Come on out while you're holding it. Oh, there you go. Somebody hold it.
Wait, hold on.
Wow, the basketball's flying around.
I thought I had it, but I don't have it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Where'd it go? Thought I had it.
Whoa.
Whoa. Ah, it should get huge.
Why they?
Hey,
How they?
how are you big?
Oh, you know.
I'm
Barry's
I'm
a big no.
Like, now it's supposed to say it. I don't think that's supposed to happen.
I think that's the sparkly cube.
Nice.
Mary, I'm really sorry to tell you, I don't know if you can navigate anywhere else in the world that this was not planned for. So, I'm sorry.
What is this?
Amazing.
Can you even see like the really tiny people? Like,
Hey,
point
see if
one of
you
your
can get
hands
out the
down
door and
into
go to the corridor.
The hand of God reaching down.
Oh my god. What's that? A french fry? That's big.
Oh my God! Normal people are big from down here. You are just massive.
What an experience.
I'm tiny.
What is this thing?
Make the handshake.
David's little.
Wow.
Somebody spit.
Wow, this is terrifying.
Yeah, this is all Deb's baby.
It's all Daddy's fault.
I like it a
How
lot.
do you get?
Oh my fucking god.
How do you do that?
This is pretty cool.
Hey, how do you do this?
Nice work, y'all.
Make your hands into the same shape.
Yeah, gesture to a statue.
And you gotta be in range,
Yeah,
closest
you
wise to the one that you're making your hand shape with.
Sorry about that.
Nice.
Yeah, you go small.
Complete chaos.
Yeah, we made the big globe.
That's neat. This is a giant french fry. Is that supposed to happen?
So the pieces remind me of Zarda.
I can't grab it.
Sean Connery?
Maybe.
Probably can't get close enough to these big guys to grab them now.
Oh, you gotta grab the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. still here.
Bree's still here.
Hey, can you go into the try to go to the courtyard if you can?
I hear, but I don't know where
I
he's
can
at.
hear her, but I can't see her. Barry's trapped behind the wall.
Where'd you go?
This is so weird.
Follow her.
There she is.
Can you? Will the music things work with your hands when you're that big?
The room looks normal size to me. It's just all of you that look tiny.
Oh wow.
Crazy.
So your head is not sticking out the roof? Looks like it is from here.
Yeah.
To me, you all just look like little ants, but the room itself is
And then
fine.
you can pull on it and it feels weird.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for watching. And buy a quest. Come on in here. See you next month.
Now I'm small. How do you get small? I just got small somehow.
When you're in that little.
Thanks.
Oh, you have
that
to
little
just be, I
area.
must have had to be right in it. Okay.